Well, I'm Rhetoryk, Rhetoryk. I make hip hop, rap, spoken word. I actually started out doing poetry, so I do interlace a lot of poetry into my music.
I was raised in a hard town. Far side of the west, never let your guard down. Cause these streets that I march down just reek the police gunshots and alarm sounds. Yeah, hood up, put your arms down. Headphones in your ears so you ain't hear him call out. He fits the description, I think he's resisting. Permission to engage wasn't even an issue, but now it's visual. Camera phones that's internet equipped to prove the government.
And yeah, my social medias, my Twitter and my Instagram are both Rhetoryk. Once again, Rhetoryk_3RD. And you can find me on Facebook if you just type in Rhetoryk. YouTube, you're going to want to go to Third Visuals, and that's all one word, 3RD Visuals. And that's going to have all the content from me and from the other Third Flow members, which is the collective that I'm a part of, that I rap with, and pretty much like a family.
Dime a day, yeah. Feeling like I got a dime a day, yeah. Shit is better than a dime a dozen. Back when a nigga used to ride a Huffy. Back when a nigga was attacked cause I'm half black at a white school with a white mother. But she was working 2 jobs just to make sure her 2 sons wouldn't need coupons to grind. Lately I've been reminiscing on the bad times like I'm in the kitchen. And the heat boiled over to my wrist, leaving blisters. They blitzing with comments to bomb them.
To be honest, I can't really think of a specific moment. There are some moments that stand out in my mind. I guess the first one that popped in my head was this time my brother and I, we were probably I was probably like 11 and he was like 13. And we were messing around in our house listening to the radio. And we had recorded on a cassette tape just like certain songs from the radio, and then we would record our voices in between like we were the radio host or whatever, you know. And I wish I still had that tape to go listen back to, man, but just it was a fun little thing that we did. And from that point I knew I had a connection to music in some fashion. But I wasn't sure. I didn't have the confidence at the time, and I wasn't sure that I could do it myself, which I think is why, you know, we were kind of imitating the DJs just to kind of be a part of music. But I really needed to gain that confidence to break me out of my bubble to be able to make the music and share it with people. So from there, I would say another moment, my dad had bought me a bass guitar. And he showed up out of nowhere one day. He would just kind of show up randomly from time to time. And so he showed up, it might have been around my birthday, to give me the guitar. He showed me a few riffs on it. And I had already had an electric guitar that my mom bought me and a keyboard as well. So he kind of gave me some basics on that, on the keyboard. And I took that, I taught myself how to play a few basic riffs on the bass, like that funky music white boy. That was the first the first like bass riff that I taught myself how to play that I was comfortable with. And then just on the piano or on the keyboard, I just kind of mess around and play melodies that I heard on the radio. I could pick it up pretty easily, and I'd play it with my right hand at the time because I couldn't play with both hands. And then eventually on down the line, I would watch YouTube videos and teach myself how to play with both hands. And I had like maybe 6-7 songs that I could play pretty well by the time I was like 16, 17. Didn't really have any music lessons, but at that point I knew I had been writing poetry for about 5 years at that point. And I had recently started sharing it online, and I had been sharing it pretty frequently from then. And people were gravitating to it. They were giving me good feedback, and that started giving me a little bit more confidence. And by the time I was 18, when I got to Ball State, where I guess I turned 19 at the beginning of my freshman year, I performed at an open mic pretty early in the year. It was just kind of spur of the moment. I heard it was happening, and I wanted to get myself on the stage to kind of just get that fright out. I had never performed anything before besides like a talent show in kindergarten or something. So yeah, I performed a poem that I wrote about specifically about my father, but about family in general. It was called Family Pride. I printed out the lyrics on a sheet of paper, and I was up there with the paper just kind of shaking while I was reading it, but it went really well. After I got off the stage, they told me they related to it. They told me they liked it. And that really it gave me the confidence that I needed to continue performing. And shortly after that, I met my Third Flow brothers. A little backstory behind that: we all were in the same dorm at Ball State, and all of them were on the third floor of the dorm, hence the name Third Flow. I was the odd man out on the 8th floor, but we connected through music and started recording together about midway through the freshman year, and from then on, that was probably the moment where I knew I wanted to pursue music on a full-time scale. But I would say that my love for music probably started when I started writing poetry at age 11, just because I knew I could get my emotions out through my writing, whether I shared it or not. It was something that was therapeutic for me, and you can hear it in my lyrics. I'm very poetic, even if I'm not writing a spoken word piece. You'll hear elements of poetry and just a lot more than you would associate with like rapping, because I'm in love with hip hop. I love, storytelling and all that, but there are elements of poetry that I feel like they bring out and they can portray emotions a little bit better than if you're just rhyming the words together. But yeah, I mean, all of these moments together, they shaped my love for music and my passion for performing, for sharing my story through my music. Because oftentimes, you're going to get artists who they make music for popularity because they know people are going to enjoy it on a popular scale. It doesn't necessarily have to connect to you. It's something that you can listen to in the club or whatever. And that's just not the type of music that I make at all. I listen to that type of music. I listen to a wide variety of music. But if you're listening to me as an artist, you're going to want to be in a mood of wanting to learn something, either about yourself or about the world. Because although I do write about myself a lot, I feel like it's very relatable on a broad scale to people who grew up without a father, to people who have bounced around between social classes, to people who are multiracial. There's just a lot that I put in my music that I feel like people can learn from and that people can appreciate the same way that I appreciated the music that I listened to growing up, because it spoke to me, as a person.
Law of attraction, yeah, causing reactions, reservations, cause you follow the masses, hesitation got you caught up in traffic, never late cause I was taught to be active, and I don't wanna wait no more. They gon' feel the rage when I turn a page. It ain't no escape from the game no more. Like my brain done tore. Getting high, don't feel the same no more. Need to listen to my angel more. Living down the street from danger's door. Me and Black King on the edge of destruction. Distinct, stay ahead of the dumb shit.
Like I said, my brother and I have a project. I believe it's 6 tracks. I think it's gonna turn out really well. We've got some bangers, some songs that could definitely get some radio play, but we've got some songs that are really meaningful as well. I felt like it was a good mix, and I like the production that he chose. Little backstory behind it: he hit me up one weekend. I think it was around the time when the quarantine was just starting, and he was basically like, "Yeah, we're gonna be in the house. You want to just come over this weekend? We can write out, a few songs, get a little project together." Ended up turning into 5 songs, which turned into 6 songs. But yeah, we just wrote it out in one weekend. We recorded it on his little mic at his crib just to get some samples. It was a pretty quick process. But yeah, hopefully that'll be ready September, probably mid-September drop. And I have started working on my next album. I guess it's more of an EP. I won't give out too many details on that, but I do have a title, a concept. Pretty much I have the outline of the project ready, and I've got a couple tracks that I've started. So that process is going. I'm hoping to have that ready to record by the end of the year. So just excited to get this new music with my brother out and just continue pushing Distinct's album, Black King's album. Shout out to them as well. If you haven't heard Apollo by Distinct, Feeling by Black King, Elevate by Oddity, go check all those out. Perspective was my last album. It's on all streaming platforms. You know, shameless plug real quick.
It's that third flow shit. It's that pure coke shit. Take you on a ride and keep you coming back for more shit. I told never box me in, I'm claustrophobic. You better have my cheddar if you owe it. No quotient, I'm focused. Been through my ups and my downs, still remain down. Still smoking leaf after leaf of that loud. I keep it around like Derry be keeping that clown. I'll bury you deep underground. Buried alive.